and welcome back to another podcast of mine. This should be episode 18, I guess. I think last time was 17. Welcome back to the Knitting Eillets Podcast. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe this video right away. I know a lot of time it gets forgotten, and it happens to me too when I watch videos. So please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to. And let's get started. So this will be quite a short podcast episode. I don't have much time because of fate, I guess. My partner had an accident with his Vespa in last week of October, and he broke his right hand wrist 3 times, was a complicated fracture. And he had to get surgery a week later, and he still has to hold it still and can't do anything basically. So yeah, that's life, isn't it? It means that I have to do everything on my own at the house at the moment. Well, he assists me, but as good as he can, but he can't do much really. Yeah, now there's a huge pile of wood has been delivered in front of our house yesterday, and we need to get that in as soon as possible. It has been snowing on Thursday evening. It is Sunday now, so it's still there. It's not as much as it used to be. It used to be kind of 40 centimeters, so quite a lot of snow. It was magical at some point, but it stopped being magical when I couldn't get out of the garage with my car on Friday morning. Because the one thing we didn't have in the house, which is quite new to us, we are living here since end of September only, we didn't have a snow shovel. So I actually had to lend one from a neighbor who luckily was walking the dog in the early morning, and I have to bring it back today. So yeah, lots of stuff happening, lots of stuff I have to do, which doesn't leave me a lot of time for knitting at the moment, so not as much as I'd like to have. So yeah, that's why the podcast episode is a bit shorter today. As I said last time, I will try out different spots in the house to shoot the episodes. Have to see for the light, which now in winter of course is a bit more difficult than in summer. It's very cold upstairs in the room, and I can't turn on the electro heating because it makes a sound. So I decided to try this spot. This is actually you are standing on my dining table. This is my tea cabinet. You already know that one from another podcast very early on episode. And yeah, the painting I did some years ago, I just changed it to match the colors. It's now going. So let's see if this spot is working out. So far I don't find it that bad. Let's start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Yvonne MT shawl by Moonstruck Knit, Natasja Hornby. I can show it to you. I have to stand up, excuse me. So it's a asymmetrical shape, which for me is not that handy as a symmetrical shape is. I prefer wearing my scarves or my shawls, better said. I prefer wearing them symmetrically, so it's easier to wear, it holds up better, it doesn't give this weird thing here. So it's fine for now. I like doing that, but normally I am wearing it as a shawl outside. I really go like with my Musselburgh hat I kind of wrap myself into it like this, and then over the coat, I wear this over the coat or over the jacket I'm wearing, and I have the hat on, and it really comes up really high in my neck, and I love that. By the way, I'm sitting on we have a little bar next in the kitchen, like an island with a bar in it, and I'm sitting on a bar chair, and this is quite quite handy. I can turn around more easily. So I will remember that. But for now, inside, I like to have something on my shoulders, and I wear like that. It will fall off as soon as I move a bit, but for now it's working out fine. I knitted this with Go Vintage Handmade, which I ordered at Hobby. I don't remember the color names. One was like this golden wheat kind of color, and the other one was a dark chocolate, dark brown, something like that. So it's quite a rustic yarn. I cannot kind of tolerate it around my neck directly, so I have to wear a scarf underneath, but I'm very, very sensitive, so I think for most people this will be a very nice yarn. It's knit up very nicely. You have to watch though a bit that it doesn't split. It's quite unspunish. It is a bit spun, but very loosely spun, so you can see it here on the edges. It has quite a halo, and it's quite unspun, so it's quite a loose thread, and there is the danger that you kind of split it. So I kind of always had to look what I knitted because of the danger of splitting the yarn. So not an easy peasy knitting yarn, but I really like the result, and it's so cozy and warm outside. I just love to wear this as the shawl, as I showed you before. It's so nice. Anything else to say? Yeah, Natasja Hornby will be a bit of the main theme, Moonstruck knits, of this episode. That's just what I'm currently love wearing, and I mostly pair it when I'm outside with my beloved owl mittens, fingerless mitts by Pommerenke, Pommerenke, who is the maker of A Crafter's Tale podcast. Is that the right thing? Again, I will put it somewhere. So these are just lovely. I used a merino cotton yarn for them. I also ordered it at Hobby, I think. So I took the dark green and the white and the black, and the brown yarn actually is one I ordered from Frau Woldrachen, a sock yarn, a merino sock yarn, which has this brown, but it's already shaped. It has a slight variation. You can maybe see it here, that not all the brown stitches are quite the same. You have some slight darker ones here, brighter ones, and this gives the owl, I think, a very good 3D. And I also went in with some darker brown I had left, just to do the eyes with a, not cross stitch, what am I saying? Embroidery stitch. I embroidered it on top, so I didn't do with 3 colors. I didn't knit with 3 colors, I knitted with 2, which is what I really like in the patterns of Nina Pommerenke, that you knit with only 2 colors at once, and you kind of embroider the rest. And I also embroidered the beak with this kind of rose cotton yarn I had left over. So yeah, just take what you find, and I love those, but I had to modify them because I knit my mitts, because I'm a tight knitter, especially with color work. I had to knit those on a circular needles, not with DPNs as I normally used to knit my small circumference round stuff like socks and mitts. I knitted them on circular needles, and I went up some needle sizes, like to 3.25, I guess, maybe 3.5 even, and they turned out too big. I have very small wrists, and I took out some of those lining here, and you had some more rows in between, just blank rows in between here. So I kind of pushed it all a bit together and made the layout a bit smaller. I kind of left out 6 rows or something, 6 lines, not rows, like stitches, basically. 6 or 8, so it fits my hand nicely. And I like how they fit. I would, if I would do them again, I would knit this part a bit longer. I really like it to go really up to my knuckles here, so my fingers are toasty in winter. But for how they are now, they are quite handy to do something. You have your fingers free to do stuff. So this is a combo I really wear often now, especially in the snow, which is just so nice. Love the owl mittens by Pommerenke. I knitted them 3 times, but the first 2 ones were gifted. Yeah, I bought some other patterns of hers, like I bought the bee, and I think the Luna moth, but I'm not sure if that is one of her patterns too, or by someone else. But I have some more like colorwork mitts with pictures on it, and I really like it when they look like realistic. I really love how this owl looks. And I love the bee, so I want to do the bee next time, but long-term project, not something I do now. For now, I'm enjoying my mitts, but they are a bit too toasty now inside, so I will take them off again. Now let's go to the works in progress. First, to my shame, I have to admit that I have not finished the second sock. I have the first acorn sock, which I patterned by Stone Knits, which I heavily modified. I just did 1 row of acorns at the top because I am still struggling with doing colorwork, so it fits over my foot and my hand sometimes. Yeah. I decided just to do socks with 1 row. I also don't see the point of doing a whole work of doing colorwork above all the sock, and you just see the small bits sticking out of your shoe. So I'm more like, I'm saving my time for something else and just do a little colorwork at the top. I really like that. And maybe a little bit here. I also sometimes like it to have here a little bit of colorwork. If I take off my shoes, like a little sassy thing on the socks. I already told you which yarns I used. It's different kind of yarns. One was from Penny Lane Yarns. I told you in the last podcast. I just wanted to say it's still a work in progress. I knitted a little bit on it. I was like here last time, and now I knitted just almost up to the part where I increase the stitches and go into and leave the broken rib pattern I make. I just go to a straight pattern and I increase some stitches, and then the colorwork part, I don't know, I just don't feel like knitting colorwork socks at the moment. I would love to knit this one just straight up without colorwork, but I'm not doing that because it will bother me later that I only have 1 of the 2 socks with colorwork. The second reason why I knitted it on it is, guys, I normally have 3 works in progress I'm knitting on, and I like the change. So I have 1 small stuff like a sock or a mitten. I have a garment usually, and I have something else. It can be a hat, it can be a shawl, it can be a scarf, it can be another pair of socks. Sometimes it's 2 garments, different types of garments. So normally I have 3 works in progress at the same time. But this last time, I don't know, it can have various reasons or explanations for that. First, maybe my headspace is not into dividing my attention between 3 projects. I just want to knit and relax and get my head out of all the things I still have to do. That's the first reason, I guess, at the moment. The second is I am flashed by this new pattern. I told you I want to start the Maan shawl by Moonstruck knits, and I did. And guys, I never had so much fun knitting a shawl. This one, the Yvonne MT shawl, I love it. It's beautiful, but it was a pain to knit. Really, I like the texture the mosaic knitting makes. Really, I like the concept. I like how it looks. I don't really like doing it. It's taking so long because you always go back and forth with the same color, and then you change and you slip and you knit and you slip. You always have to kind of look a bit at the chart. Well, I do, at least. There are maybe some geniuses that don't have to do that, but I do, especially with a pattern like this. So it took forever. You started at the pointy edge. You started here. And then you went up, and then got bigger and bigger. So the lines got longer and longer, and you couldn't see the progress that much. So I really worked with progress keepers here to just show myself that I've knitted actually 3 centimeters, because you couldn't see it from the pattern. It was like, I have to go 8 times more in this whole repeat, and it was a large repeat. So I was like, it took me forever to knit this. I did a break over summer, so it took me more than a year to knit this. The Maan shawl is bigger. It's symmetrical, and it doesn't have all the way mosaic knitting. And guys, I love knitting this. I never wanted to stop. It's so much fun. Let me show you first. It's still just about working on the needles. Sorry for the clinging. Let me see. This is how far I am so far. So it's a triangular shape. As you can see, and it has mosaic knitting parts in it. This makes it much, much quicker to knit, because this pattern here, she calls it St. John's Wort pattern or something. This pattern is quite easy, and you can get the hang of it by just looking at the stitches, and you know what to do, more or less. I always take a look in the repeat for the beginning and the end, so I don't miss out any stitches, or do I have to increase or not. But this pattern is so much fun to knit. It is quick and it is interesting, but it's not over, so you don't always have to look. You can just kind of, now I'm in the pattern. You take the beginning, now I'm in the pattern, in front of the middle stitch marker. I have to look again maybe, or maybe not, and then you go on. You only have to look once at the beginning. How does it start? Because the end is the same. So it's really fun to knit. It goes quick, this part. Then you have to, so it doesn't get too boring too, because you have the breakups with the mosaic knitting. So really this is so much fun. And I'm in half, maybe not even, because now there will be sections of these two things. So a little bit of green, then again there were white and black stripe, green stripe, green stripe, green stripe, and then at the end somewhere there's again this pattern, and that's the end with a little black edging. So, and it will be huge. It's now like, it's not very huge. It's not even my whole arm span. So for now it wouldn't even be a scarf. So it's not very big yet, but it will be very big. And I love these big triangular shawls. You can just kind of wrap yourself in, and it's such a mood to knit on it right now in front of the fireplace with the snow outside. I love it, and I have been monogamously knitting. I have been only knitting at this since last time I started it, because it went very cold. I didn't feel on continuing on my tulip sweater. It's too light, I can't wear it right now anyway, so I will leave that to the side for February maybe. So I have it in March when spring is arriving. I have this nice red, lightweight, finger weight jumper or sweater to wear. So this will be resting, and I really want to start my my Lauder vest by the Creabea, but in a moment I don't have the headspace to read myself into a new pattern. There's also Christmas knits coming, so I might start that in Christmas holidays. But for now I'm just knitting this, and I love it. So now I'm again at the green part. It's just so gorgeous. I love it. I love the wool. I love the colors I chose. It will be perfect. But I had one thing at the beginning which I was not sure if I liked it, and that was, if you look closely, there's more black up here than it is down here. I was not sure if I liked that. For my inner monk, or however you say it, I would have preferred it to have the same amount of black here than here. But when I looked, I went back to the pictures, and there are a lot of project pictures on her project page on Ravelry, so you will find some lovely combinations there. And I saw that when you hold it up like this, it gives it a nice, it draws your eye kind of down to the next one, and it gives it something very nice that it's not symmetrical. So I decided to go on with it after pattern, and I take a look at the end how I like it, and I will like it because I love when I see the finished photos of other projects. So yeah, maybe if I ever do a second one, I might try and do another row or 2 rows in here with the black, so it's the same amount. But at the moment I really like that it's asymmetrical a little bit. My main project at the moment, I'm knitting it with Easy Care Merino Classic by Mayflower. This is the color 291, and of course black and white. I take the natural white, I took the natural white, not the white. Natural white, but black. I first wanted to take charcoal, but now I think it's better for the contrast that I took the black. So I'm very happy with my color decision and my yarn decision. This is quite soft already. I can have it here, I can tolerate it. But I know that this one with washing will get even softer, because I already used the Mayflower Easy Care Big Merino for the Goldwing sweater I knitted. So I like this yarn, it knits up wonderfully. I can just kind of go into the rhythm, and yeah, I have to look a bit because it's not stockinette, it's not garter, you just have to take a little look so you're in the pattern, but I can watch a TV while doing this part. It's very cool. And I can also watch TV while doing this part, because it's also, when it's established, it's quite simple. But here I had to look at the chart. But it's very simple. It's mostly 2 1 2 1 2 1, or 2 1 3 1 1 1 2 1 3. So it kind of has a very easy rhythm to remember for the mosaic part. So yeah, it's very nice. Loving it. Yeah, and that was it. We are at 25 minutes. That is going to be a very short one. I might take some winter garden videos with my cell phone and show you a bit how the garden looks at the moment in this winter coat. It will all be gone by tomorrow, because today it should be 9 degrees again. And I'm not feeling it right now, it's quite cold still outside, but it will get warm the next 3 or 4 days, like up to 15 degrees, so crazy weather. There's nothing more I'm doing right now, it's a bit boring, but this is the only project I'm knitting on. My Maan shawl. I am hoping to find my motivation to finish the socks, because I really want some more wool socks. But now it's getting warm again. It's like, oh, why should I finish it? I don't need them now. I just need them in 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah, I'm not into color work at the moment. Plans, I already told you a bit. I will do... No, I will start at some point my Lauder vest. Hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, by the Creopea. So I'm actually having the wool now, because I'm downstairs and I didn't forget it. It will be with this beauty. It's a tweed yarn, and it's so soft. It's a Spanish yarn. It's vegan knits, naturally hand-dyed fibers, tweed. It's 85 merino and 15% Donegal. And it's 212 meters and 100 grams, so it's DK. And veganknits.com is where you can find it, and it's really lovely. It's kind of an natural off-white with speckles of brown and dark grey black. So it's really, I think you will see the cable pattern the Lauder has very well with this yarn because it's white. When you have it afar, it's white with a little bit of speckles, and I think it will give it a very interesting and very natural looking vibe. So like a cozy winter vest. So I'm looking forward to cast this on, and it's so soft already. I'm keen to know how this turns out when it's washed, because I can actually tolerate it on my bare skin like that, which is very rare. Now it sometimes changes when I'm knitting something up. It kind of changes the wool, because I find this one a bit softer than it is knitted up, but this will soften up when I'm washing it. So keen to know how this is working out, how it is to work with. I'm having 3 skeins for the vest. It was quite expensive. I bought it at the Swiss Yarn Festival. For the Lauder vest, I already knew I wanted to knit that with it. So really looking forward to knit that one. What I could also show you, beside the garden, I could show you my new wardrobe, where I have my new yarn place, which I love. So I could do that, and I think I will do that just in a second. That was it. So please, if you liked it, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. You can find me on Instagram as knitting_Eillets. That's my Instagram. I was confused for a sec. And you can find me on Ravelry as Eillets. So that's the way around. Ravelry, Eillets, Instagram, knitting_Eillets. So if you want to have a little chat, just write me a DM, PM, whatever. And yeah, I'm happy to answer. Hope you liked it. See you next time. So this is the current view on the back of the garden, which is the east side. It's the biggest part. It goes quite up to here, has a little point, kind of, it goes pointed. So all covered in snow, not all, it was much higher than it is now. Here we have the kitchen and exit to the future vegetable and garden. It's the northern side. This is southwest. Northern side is kind of here. Darkest part, yes, the tree is being chopped off because it was too big, and it's still a young tree, so it would have gotten even bigger. I will have lots of trees and bushes planted in its place. So this is the northern side. When you go to the west side, this is southwest facing. We have the pool area here, which you can't really see anything because it's all just white. So yeah, back side of the garden, back view, really lovely. These huge trees are being cut a bit, shortened, not cut down. I want to keep them. And yeah, it's melting. This part here was our reference hill, and it was 40 centimeters, and it was just like all over. Now it's already melting, but it's still quite cold. Now let's take a look where I have my knitting stuff. Can you see this really lovely wardrobe? It was a gift from a friend. Well, I know her from Stables. And she kind of realized that we were moving out, and she had this huge wardrobe, which was in family possession for years and years. And she kind of was tired of it. She was like, oh, I can't see it anymore. I want something new and modern, but I don't want to throw it away because it's so much memories with that wardrobe. So I was like, I have the perfect spot for it. It's the perfect wardrobe for my living room. I don't really want to show you my living room right now because it's really a mess. My partner is, as I told you in the podcast, is having his hand mended. No, he had it mended, but he still has to kind of hold it up. And that's why the sofa looks like a little... I can show you quickly. It's where he rests his hand. So all the cushions are here. This is his coat when he goes outside, because it's very annoying to wear a jacket, his blanket, so he's kind of staying in here on this place the whole time. That's why I don't want to show you. Go back to the nice wardrobe. I love the intarsia it has. It's just so lovely. So all the stuff, and it was full of scratches and everything, and I just polished it. And I need to do some retouch work down there at the drawers, the 2 drawers. But let me open it. And as a little comparison, I had one IKEA thing. Yeah, it was a lot smaller than this. That's why it's half empty. So I have a lot of space to get some wool. So I could fit everything in there easily. As you can see, I have lots of space for boxes with wool. Let's do the right hand side first. Here we have some boxes with wool. This is sock wool. This is, I don't know, this is wool, sock wool mostly. The wool for my Maan shawl, which I'm not even packing out because, sorry, I'm already using it. So this is the Maan shawl wool. Oh my gosh. I have project bags in here with rests, which is for my sweet shop blanket, which I could actually take out because I want to knit on it. Boop. And I have my yarn swift in here. So I could, this was just laying around on a table all the time in the way. And now I have a place to store it nicely and properly and take it out. So it's all in one place. I have this bracket in here, which the wardrobe kind of needs to stabilize this kind of wall in the middle. So I cannot take it out, but I could imagine like putting hangers on it and hang little bags on it with yarn on it. That could also be a way to store it, but I prefer at the moment these clear boxes so I can see what is inside. But I have a lot of room. I could do another 3 or 4 boxes in there, so no problem. Now the left side, top. I put all my knitting books and patterns, that's the smushy part here. I put them all here with some needles, crochet hooks like DPN needles. I have cotton in the back, which I don't use at the moment, my cable needles, and a box with some special yarn in it. Very expensive yarn mostly. So yeah. Then next swap we have a bag full of yarn. And I haven't been able to kind of sort it in an intelligent way. Like I tried to sort it a bit, like all the cotton is up here, but it's not working because I have some summer yarns down here too. So I just put it basically in there when I moved in, and I was happy to have that much space. I bought these 3 boxes and made the sock yarn a bit in there. But underneath here is also, don't know where these 2 are coming from. They are yarn. More yarn. That's the general distinction I have. So this is all kinds of yarn. This is an acrylic yarn, which is actually the same one as up here. So this goes up here basically, which yarn mess I have to do. And this was the yarn from my dad's sweater. It looks very ordered, it's not. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. I just had to pack all my yarn and I had a huge chaos and I just, yeah, threw it in here. So at one point I will do a nice clear out and sorting of yarns. I am not sure how I want to sort them. Like, do I take contents like wool, merino, acrylic, cotton? Do I take thickness like DK, fingering, Aran or thicker by chunky? Do I make a special sock yarn? That would make sense because I know it's with polyamide, so I could wash it.
I wasn't sure how to sort it, so I just chuck it all in there. Yeah, that's the wardrobe part. But I'm very happy I could take out the books of my library, because my library now is upstairs, and it would make no sense for me to knit downstairs mostly. That's the upper part of this beautiful wardrobe. Now the drawers. I'm not sure. Here is just some nothingness. Like, this is the oil for the the yarn Swift, and the new rubber thing. So this is kind of backup material for the yarn Swifts. Some screws. I don't know why they are in there, but they are there. And here we have some old knitting needles. I found some old cable needles, some needle measurements, metal needles, or straight knitting needles, which I'm basically not using anymore, but don't want to throw them away. So in the drawers there's quite much room left, which I could use. So this is my yarn wardrobe. I love it. I feel very decadent having a yarn wardrobe and not just a kind of a shelf somewhere, but I love it. It's all in there, all of my yarn stuff. I know where it is. Well, I know it's in the wardrobe. I don't know where in the wardrobe. Still have to figure out that kind of problem. Please tell me, how did you sort your yarns? Did you sort by weight, like DK fingering? Erin, did you sort by what I'm using it for? Socks, hats, whatever, jumpers, quantities? Like, I have 10 of those balls. It's a sweater quantity. I make sweater quantities. Or did you sort it by color, maybe? I don't know. Or by content. Is it wool, merino, fiber? What are the... Help me out here. How should I sort this yarn? Now, I hope you're having a nice time. See you next time.